Singapore is prepared for the fallout from a prolonged trade war between China and the United States. But while it has the fiscal and monetary tools to cope, it must also transform its economy quickly. Deputy Prime Minister Heng Keat said this to Singapore media in Shenzhen.
Tensions between China and the United States have reignited in recent weeks. Trade talks between the two countries are at a deadlock. Billions in additional tit-for-tat tariffs are being imposed. Singapore Deputy Prime Minister Heng Keat said he discussed this very issue with the Chinese leaders. While they expressed hopes of reaching a resolution, they're prepared to stay resilient should the trade dispute escalate further.
The effects on the regional and global economy will be very negative. But this is not an issue that can be resolved immediately. I think what we in Singapore, as well as many countries in our region, want to see is that there can be a good resolution of this. And at the same time, we should continue to build on other initiatives that can further the cooperation across the different countries.
Mr. Heng said Singapore is also prepared, but added the country needs to transform its economy quickly and ensuring no worker is left behind.
The main thing that we must do is to ensure that we transform our economy at an even faster pace, because besides the trade war, we are also going to be faced with very rapid changes in technologies. I hope that corporate leaders in Singapore take this very seriously, because this is also an opportunity for us to turn adversity into a strength.
Over the past week, Mr. Heng has met various Chinese leaders in Beijing, Shanghai, Guangzhou and Shenzhen, including 5 from the Communist Party of China's Politburo. This visit is significant because it's the first trip that Mr. Heng is making to China since becoming Deputy Prime Minister earlier this month, and he was asked how he intends to take the bilateral relationship forward as the head of Singapore's 4th generation leadership. Mr. Heng said Singapore and China have looked at projects that are beneficial to both sides, and many such projects were discussed during his trip. He says these can take cooperation forward in the next 5 to 10 years.
One strong characteristic of the Chinese system is that the political leaders as well as the business leaders think in long terms, and so that provides many areas for us to cooperate, for us to work together. In the same way, I think we must take a more strategic view of the future development and position ourselves well.
Mr. Heng says that means Singapore businesses have to step up their transformation because Chinese companies have grown their capabilities significantly. Singapore's talent pool must also remain strong and well exposed to global developments. Mr. Heng said that's how Singapore can continue to add value and play a useful role. Olivia Xiong, CNA, Shenzhen.
Mr. Heng is now in Hong Kong as he rounds off his 8-day visit to China. He visited the city's Science and Tech Park along with Foreign Minister and Minister in charge of the Smart Nation Initiative, Mr. Vivian Balakrishnan.
They learned how Hong Kong and Shenzhen are working together to build an innovation and tech hub in China's Greater Bay Area. The area is meant to rival Bay Areas in New York, San Francisco and Tokyo by attracting top research institutes and talent.
Mr. Heng also visited the offices of one of the park's success stories, SenseTime Group, a pioneer in facial recognition technology powered by artificial intelligence. SenseTime is the park's first AI unicorn, estimated to be worth over $4 billion.